Lesson 9, Multiplying Binomials. Let's go over some definitions. Monomial means one name, polynomial means many names, and binomial means two names. So here from monomial, it's a single term such as 5xy that involves only one name. Notice here that it says the Latin root nom means name. So just think the term 5 apples only involves a single name of apples. Look at polynomial next. A polynomial is an expression with more than one term summed, such as 5xy plus 3x squared y, that involves more than one name. And just think the summed expression 5 apples plus 3 bananas involves two names, apples and bananas. Finally, binomial. A binomial is a polynomial with exactly two sum terms, such as 5xy plus 3x squared y, that involves two names. And just think, a bicycle has two wheels. So a binomial has two terms. Here's part 1. We're going to solve this multiplication problem in 4 different ways. And this will help us later when we get to part 2. Let's start with box A. Let's solve this multiplication problem using the standard algorithm. So here we have 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4. Add your placeholder. 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4. Add them up. And our answer is 506. Box B. Solve the problem to the left by using an expanded approach. Expand 23 into 20 plus 3, and expand 22 into 20 plus 2. Then multiply using the same order as the standard algorithm. Let's take care of that now. Let's write 23 as 20 plus 3. Next, let's write 22 as 20 plus 2. And now we can multiply them together. The first step here was 3 times 2, so we'll do 3 times 2, and that gives us 6. Next, we have 2 times 2, which really means 20 times 2. Here's 20 times 2, and that gives us 40. Next, we have 3 times 2, which really means 3 times 20. So let's do 3 times 20, and that gives us 60. Finally, we have 2 times 2, which really means 20 times 20. So 20 times 20 equals 400. Add them up. We have 400 plus 100 plus 6. And 400 plus 100 gives us 500. 500 plus 6 gives us 506. And notice that this matches our previous answer. Here's box C. Here we have 2 times 3, which is right here. Next we have 2 times 20, which is right here. Next is 20 times 3, which is right here. And finally we have 20 times 20, which is right here. So 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 20 is 40. 20 times 3 is 60. And 20 times 20 is 400. Let's add them up. And our answer is 506, and that matches both of our previous answers. Here's box D. Solve the problem to the left by drawing an area model. So I'll draw a rectangle here. And we're going to do 23 times 22. Here is 23 times 22. 20 times 20 equals 400. 20 times 3 equals 60. 20 times 2 equals 40. And 3 times 2 equals 6. Add them up. And our answer is 506, which matches each of our previous answers. Here's part 2. Multiply the binomials. N plus 3 is a binomial because it has 2 terms. N plus 2 is a binomial as well because it has 2 terms as well. And we're going to multiply them together. How do we do that? Just notice that this looks like this problem here in part 1. So here the first step was 3 times 2. So let's work on 3 times 2, which gives us 6. Next we have 20 times 2, or 2 times 20. So let's do 2 times n, which is 2n. Write a plus sign in between. Next we have 3 times 20. So let's do 3 times n, which is 3n. Finally, we have 20 times 20. So let's do n times n, which is n squared. Add them up. Here we have n squared plus 2n plus 3n gives you 5n. And here we have plus 6. So our final answer is n squared plus 5n plus 6. Also, notice this. N squared plus 5n plus 6 has many names. That makes it a polynomial, and it has an exponent in it as well.